dedicated by Ira Stein in memory of, help me out, Ira.
My mother, Leah Bas Yisrael.
Leah Bas Yisrael. And how long ago did she pass away?
Oh, geez, 92.
92. So
Yeah,
this,
93. I think 93.
wow.
Yeah.
So today's learning should be in her memory. She should be a good better. And Ira, thank you for dedicating today's class, making this, and all the other dedications make these classes possible. Thank you very much.
Rabbi.
Yes.
Shechem, which is Nablus, Jerusalem, and Hebron are exactly in the same location as the map you showed. So it is still until today the same area. If you want, I can send you an image of the map that I'm looking at.
So Shechem now is same as Shechem in the map I showed?
Yeah. And I will get you a snapshot of it so you can see the map of today.
How many miles do you think it is away from each other?
Probably around 30 miles.
Probably around 30 miles from each other. Okay, great.
Yeah, maybe a little less, but
around,
something in
30
the
miles.
vicinity.
So it's not so far. In the map that I saw, it looked pretty far to me, but I guess you're saying it's not so far from each other. Okay, 30 miles makes sense from what we're going to learn in today's Chumash. Okay, join me as we start the daily Chumash, and then we'll move on to Tanya. So for today's Chumash, we're discussing how Yosef, we learned in yesterday's Chumash, how Yosef was very hated by his brothers, and we learned why in yesterday's Chumash, and that you got to go back to yesterday's Chumash. But here's what unfolds in the rest of the story. And the brothers, Yosef brothers, went, as Ayal is telling us, it's 30 miles away about from Hebron to Shechem. They went to pasture their father's flock in Shechem. So their father had a lot of sheep. Remember, we were learning they had a lot of animals, a lot of cattle. And I guess, as was common in those days, brothers would go and pasture the sheep. And we learned, as we've been learning in the stories, they didn't always pasture it right close to home. Sometimes they would travel a distance and they would go to pasture the sheep. So here we have them traveling. It's, I guess 30 miles in those days is quite far, right? It's going almost to Manhattan from an Alipin here, or a big chunk of the way. And walking, you got to imagine it takes a very long time. So they're at a nice far distance. And they go to shepherd their father's sheep in Shechem. Now, the word es in Hebrew has dots. And we discussed this previously in our class. Rashi explained it, that when a word has dots on the letters, that means that read into the word. It's not as it seems. In the word, there's really something deeper going on. It's just a facade. There's something really else going on. And Rashi explains over here that they weren't really going to pasture their father's sheep. They were, but that wasn't their main thing that they were going to. What they were actually going to do was they were actually going to shepherd themselves, to either feed themselves, not feed the sheep, feed themselves. They were going to party. They were going to have a party, and I guess the sheep was an excuse. Maybe they remembered a good party life from when they lived in Shechem. Not too long ago they lived in Shechem. So maybe they're heading back to Shechem where they lived not too long ago. They're going back over there to party, to eat, and whatever. Or, as we're going to learn, to concoct a plan to get rid of their brother Yosef. They had enough of their brother Yosef, and they're talking about getting rid of him. Verse 13. So Yisrael tells his son Yosef, I guess, who was still home. He was staying home. He was with his dad. I believe they would always leave one brother home, so everybody else would go. They'd leave one brother home. And the father tells Yosef, aren't your brothers pasturing in Shechem? I'm going to send you to them. So he says, I got to go send you. Maybe find out what's going on, see how they're doing, or maybe join them. Whatever it is, I'm sending you to your brothers in Shechem. So Yosef says, he says, I'm ready. Whatever you want, Dad. Rashi tells us, you see how much respect Yosef had for his father, right? I guess today, respecting our parents is a thing we could learn. And here he knew how much his brothers hated him. And he knew that it's very dangerous to go to his brothers, but this is what his dad wants. So he's going to go join the people that hate him. They hate his guts, right? They hate him. He knows they hate him. It's not a secret. Everybody in the family knows that he knows it. So he says, but Dad, done. You want me to go? I'm going. Now, why I believe I saw in the commentaries, Yaakov knew that they hated him, right? Remember, he was trying to put down the dreams. Why would he send him there? I think I saw that Yaakov never believed. He knew his sons were holy people. He never believed that they could do what it is that they're going to do now to him. He says to him, he's telling him, I'm sending you, go see how your brothers are doing. Go 30 miles away, go find out. See how the sheep are doing. The brothers are quite far away. He wants him to go find out, I guess, how everything's advancing where they are. It's quite a distance. And then just find out. Go find out and come back and tell me. I'm waiting to hear back from you when you find out what's going on. So basically, your father's sending him as a messenger to go find out from the brothers what's going on. And he sent him. Me'emek Chevron, from the valley in Chevron. So he sends him, because we know he was living in Chevron, in Kiryas Arba over there in Chevron. He sends him from the valley in Chevron to go up to Shechem. And Yosef arrives in the city of Shechem. The Rashi just gives us some behind the scenes by asking one or two questions on the story over here. Number one, he says, why he's saying something's very weird. It says, Yaakov sent his son Yosef from the valley in Shechem. Anyone who's been from the valley of Chevron, anyone who's been to Chevron, and the Torah at least approaches it, it's on mountains. It's not in valleys, it's on a mountain, especially where he lived, I guess, was on a mountain.
Kiryat Arba is on the mountain, and Chevron is in the valley.
Is in the valley, but Rashi's saying that it's on a mountain. So
Kiryat Arba is on the mountain.
But he's saying Chevron. He's saying that Chevron, maybe modern day Chevron, I don't know. David, okay.
It's a pretty big town. Yeah, there's mountains there also.
Rashi says he knows that Chevron is on a mountain, not in a valley, because I'll tell you why, David. I don't know today geography of it, but he says that we see later on in Parshas Chumash Bamidbar, much later on, remember we're going to learn about the spies, and it'll say over there, they'll go, I believe over there where they'll go to pray by the cave of Machpelah, they'll go to pray. It says they go up to the mountain to Chevron. So Rashi says he could see from the Chumash that it's up on a mountain. It's not in a valley. But anyway, I don't know geography today, how it is or not. I remember years ago taking a bus there, and we went circles and circles. I believe we had to do it was very mountainous. But anyway, either way. So Rashi tells us it doesn't mean literally a valley. He actually is indicating, prophesizing something else. Because this is going to be the beginning of the Jews ending up in exile. This whole story by him sending Yosef there is all part of the plan that Yosef should got sold as a slave in order that he should end up in Egypt so that they should follow him. So it's all part. So when he says from the valley of Chevron, he means not the valley, he means from the depth of Chevron, not the depth of the city of the town of Chevron, but the depth of the prophecy to the great scholar of Chevron, which is Avram Avinu, because God told Abraham, this has all been already predicted, God prophesied that your sons will be slaves. God told that to Abraham. So this is just the way the prophecy is coming true. So that doesn't mean actually Chevron's in a valley, it means from the depth of the prophecy that was given to the man in Chevron is going to come out by Yaakov sending Yosef there. And he comes to Shechem, and Rashi says something very interesting about Shechem. This Shechem is a horrible place. Every bad thing happens in Shechem. And he says, first of all, right now, we know that they're going to sin. We know that they're going to sell Yosef over here. And we also know that Dinah, not too long ago, was raped over there. The whole story in Shechem happened over here. And also in hundreds of few hundred years from now, the major split between the two groups of Jews, the two tribes of Yehuda and Benjamin, after King Solomon's throne, when his kid will take over, Yeravam. Solomon had a son, Yeravam. And when Solomon had a major empire, his son Yeravam came to take over, there was a big fight between Solomon's son, Yeravam, and another man called Rechavam ben Avat, and Rechavam, the two got in a big fight, and the Jewish people split for many, many years to come. Where did that split take place? That split took place in Shechem. So Shechem has constantly had major issues and major stuff going on. I think even today in Nablus, there's a lot of issues with the Arabs and the IDF over there. It's definitely not a safe place for one to go. All right, so Rashi tells us the city of Shechem is where the disaster is going to happen. By Mitzeo Ish, and Yosef arrives, finally comes to Shechem, verse 15, and a man finds him, and Rashi tells us who's this guy. This is not a regular man. This is referring to the angel Gabriel. Gabriel is there. Hashem wants Gabriel to direct him where he needs to go. So let's go. We got to get the prophecy moving. We got to have the Jews end up in Egypt. And he was looking in the field. Yosef's looking, where's my brothers? Because they were supposed to come pasture over here. So Yosef goes over to this man, this angel, this man, and he says, "No, did you see my brothers? I'm looking for my bros. I'm looking for my brothers." He says, the man says, "What are you looking for?" Verse 16, so he says, "I'm looking for my brothers. Hagidan Ali, please tell me. Where are they pasturing? They're supposed to be here. My dad sent me here to go find out how they're doing. They're supposed to be in Shechem. Please do me a favor. Tell me, where are my bros? Where are my brothers? Are they here?" So the man gives him a coded message, and he says, "Nasu mizeh, they left here. They left. They're gone." Rashi says the coded message is in, "Haha, you think they're your brothers? No, make no mistake. These guys, not just that they left physically, but they left from, you're saying, I'm looking for my brothers. What kind of brothers are these? I heard these guys talking but that's the coded message. The simple message is they left. They're not here anymore. I heard, they're going to go to the city of Daisana, which is more north. They got to go a little bit more north. They kept on pasturing. They traveled another couple miles, and they walked to the next town of Daisan. So Rashi tells us, yeah.
I had to look it up because Google is just right in front of me.
Sure.
It's a 33-hour walk from Hebron to Dotan, according to Google Maps.
33-hour walk.
Yeah, that's a pretty far walk.
That's very far. That's very far. So I'm saying when they pastured the sheep, that's why the fathers make sense going to send them to find out what's going on, because he knows that they're very far away. So 33 hours is how many miles it is?
97 miles.
97 miles.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it is far. That's very far. For Israel, 97 miles is really far. So that's got to be a huge section in Israel. Yeah.
It's a straight line north, but it's still, a pretty good walk.
97 miles is double from here to Manhattan, right? It's very far away. 100 miles is quite a distance. So they're really far. So I'm just saying what I realized was when people would pasture their sheep, they would really travel very far distances to go. So he's sending Yosef all the way 100 miles away to go there. Interesting. Thank you, David. So the man is telling Yosef, you're looking for your brothers. You traveled all the way here. They're not here. They went more north. They went to Daisam. They're not in Shechem. I heard they're going to go to Daisam. And Yosef traveled after his brother. And he found him in Daisam. Now Rashi tells us again, part of the coded message, Nelcha Daisana means they're looking for a pretext to kill you. Simple meaning is there's another town called Daisam. They traveled further, but your brothers are not your brothers anymore is the coded message. They are looking to kill you. They're not your brothers anymore. I don't know if Yosef got the message and still went, or this is a coded message and he doesn't know what the code is behind there. He just knows the man told him they went to the city of Daisam, and they went and they traveled to Daisam. And the brothers see this guy coming. They see their hated brother Yosef coming. And before he got close to them, as they see this guy Yosef approaching, he made the 100-mile trek. And they plotted. They came up with a plot, figured out to be cunning, as Rashi says. And they decided they're going to kill him. They're going to get rid of the guy. They had enough. Remember, we learned yesterday's Chumash. The guy's making up stories about them and getting them in big trouble. And they think, even according to some of the commentaries, that he's deserving of death for what he did, and they're going to kill him. And they tell each other, verse 19, the dreamer's coming. The guy has all these dreams. We're bowing to him we're bowing to him as the sun and the moon and the stars. The guy who's the dreamer, who we hate his guts, who's making us problems, is coming. And now, verse 20, let us go and kill him. And I will throw him back into one of the pits. What are we going to tell Dad? And we will say that a wild animal ate him up. We'll come back to Dad. He's 100 miles away. What do you mean? It's possible for it to happen. A wild animal came and ate him up. And we will see what will be of this guy's dreams. Let's see what happens with his dream. So Rashi says it's a little bit of a problem for the brothers to say we'll see what will be of his dreams. I mean, what do you mean what will be of his dreams? He just killed him. Of course, the dreams aren't going to come true. It's a Baba Maisa, right? It's not true. The whole story is not true. So Rashi says the verse is demanding some extra explanation. You need to have a drasha, a more of a explanation on it. And he actually wants to say that the verse is saying the brother said we'll kill him, and God is responding, oh yeah? You think you're going to kill him and get rid of his dreams? Let's see whose will is going to come. You're going to say you're going to kill him. Let's see if Hashem's plan is going to fall through or the brother's plan is going to fall through. But Yishma Ruvain. But Ruvain feels a lot of pressure. Yishma Ruvain hears the brothers discussing they want to kill Yosef. Right? And he saves them from their hand. And he says, how could you kill your brother? How could you do that? Now, Yosef feels feels a tremendous amount of pressure. Why does Reuven feel a tremendous amount of pressure? Who could guess? Who in our class could guess? Why does Reuven feel more the heat more than anybody else that he's trying to save Yosef?
Oldest one.
Correct, Harvey. Very good. Reuven is the oldest one. He knows who's going to take the blunt of the blame. It's all going to be on his head. So he's saying, if Dad finds out that they killed him, who's going to be the one to carry the blame? His father obviously has expectation of this older brother Reuven, and Reuven says, I cannot let this happen. I got to save him. So what does he do? But they want to kill him. So Reuven says, how could you not pour the blood of your brother? Don't pour his blood. You're going to directly kill your brother? Just put him in the pit without killing him. That's in the desert. But don't touch him. And the Torah tells us what really was Reuven's intention. God tells us in the Torah, because he really planned to come later on, save Yosef, and return him to his father. So, and he says, as Rashi brings it, he says, I'm the firstborn, I'm going to carry the blunt, my brothers, I guess he felt there's no way his brothers are going to listen to him. So what is he going to do? What he's going to do is he's going to really come back later when his brothers are not around, save Yosef, and then he will return him to his father. And that is the end of today's fascinating Chumash. Any questions or comments on today's very interesting Chumash? Nobody? Brett, your hand is still raised, or is that from before?
That was from before.
All right, no problem. Okay. All right. Ira, it's good? Makes sense? Today's Chumash. All right. Yes? Okay, good. We will go on to today's Tanya. So we're middle of a very interesting